Hello and welcome back to my channel. Today I'm going to give you 3 more tips and tricks that you can use if you are struggling with sore, cracked, dry nipples from your breastfeeding journey so far. As always, I'm a lactation consultant, but I'm not your lactation consultant. And if you're struggling with sore, cracked nipples, getting to the root cause of the problem is always going to be your goal so that you can prevent it from getting worse and really optimize the healing process. So we used to look at healing our sore, damaged nipples by airing them out, drying them out, and allowing them to create that scab. Of course, with every dry scab, it will come off then, and we're left with more healing that's required. So with the new way of doing things, we have this moist wound healing component, which allows our wound to heal from the inside out. So we want to make sure first that we are keeping the breast nice and clean, washing the breast once or twice a day in that nipple and areola area in an antibacterial soap and some warm water to make sure that none of those little bacteria are going to enter, and none of those pathogens are going to enter with that open wound there and cause bacterial mastitis or for you to get unwell. So cleanliness is the first thing that I want you to be doing. The next thing that we want to be doing is looking what our different options are to encourage wound healing. And we've talked about our little breast shells, we've talked about apno ointment, Aquacel gauze, we've talked about using saline soaks, loaded breast pads, so many different things. And today we're going to be talking about hydrogel pads, the use of a honey dressing, and the Multimam compresses. So I hope you find this video helpful, and I'm going to dive right into these little tips and tricks. So the first one might come as a really obvious one, in so much as when we talk about moist wound healing, this is a lovely example of that. These are the Manuka hydrogel pads. You can get many different versions of these. Medela carry them, I think Boots do their own version, and what they are is a lovely hydrogel disc. And the lovely thing about these is that you can apply them, like this. You can apply them to the nipple directly after feeds and just remove them when it comes to feeding time. So you can see it's almost like this jelly-like substance here. I won't take it off altogether so that I can use it for something else. But the idea with these is you apply them directly to the breast, to the nipple, and you can continue to use the same gel pad, taking it off as you're feeding, leaving it somewhere so that it's clean and dry and not going to be exposed to dust or other little children's sticky fingers or paws, and then you can reapply it after a feed. So you would change this out for a fresh one if you notice any brown colouring or any discoloration, or of course if it gets stuck straight down on something else. But these hydrogel pads are fantastic to create that moist wound healing environment, and we use them nowadays in so many other different types of wound dressings. So particularly love these hydrogel discs, and again I will link everything that I'm talking about in the little description box down below. So that is the Manuka hydrogel pads, and these are one of my personal favorites. If you were to see me in person, I always have an array of different wound dressings on hand, and we would go through your personal case and find out which one's going to be more applicable to you. So yeah, you wouldn't need to have to buy your own, is what I'm trying to say. The next thing that I'm going to talk about is a honey dressing. In particular, we're talking a Manuka honey dressing. So Manuka honey is harvested from the bees who feed from the tea tree. So as we all know, tea tree you might use as a disinfectant, as an antibacterial agent in maybe your home. If you use it, mixed in with a little bit of vinegar for cleaning your work surfaces, it's a fantastic agent that you can use very much diluted down for their antibacterial properties, antifungal, anti-infective, so wonderful. So of course honey, as we know, particularly the Manuka honey, has that wonderful property as well. So with honey, this is an alginate dressing impregnated with 100% Manuka honey. And now you don't want to be getting just whatever dressing or whatever honey that you can find. You can get specific medical grade honey. So it has been processed so that it's not going to be toxic at all. And all of those little toxins have been removed. but this is a Manuka impregnated dressing. So with this particular one, it's really large, and you would just cut a small amount, as much as you would need, and apply it over the nipple. And one of the biggest questions that I get is, do I need to wash this off afterwards before you latch your baby on? And with this one in particular, you do. So say with the hydrogel dressing, you wouldn't necessarily have to. With your silver cups, you wouldn't have to do that. Nor with the Multimam compresses that we're going to talk about next. But with a Manuka honey dressing, you do have to give your breasts a little gentle wash before feeding time. But these have been particularly nice for those really deep wounds. I will use these also if I notice there is maybe a bacterial infection going on, and we think that, you know, perhaps it's mild enough that it doesn't need to be treated with an antibiotic cream or ointment, or oral antibiotics. And Manuka honey dressing can sometimes be the make or break to really just get that wound healing started. So love myself Manuka honey dressing. Lastly, we're talking about these, and I absolutely love these Multimam compresses. They are a really quick, easy, soothing. We are joined by my little boy here who is nursing away, in case you see little hands popping up. A really gentle, easy, cheap, easily accessible way for you to support your wound healing. One of the main reasons I love these is because they've got a lovely soothing property. So particularly if you leave them in the fridge, and then with these, they're reasonably expensive, so they're about 15 quid a pack. And what you can do is actually just cut them in half. So you can see here, I'll open one up for you, but they come quite large, and no one's nipple is quite that shape. So I always just recommend chopping them in half like that. So then you can do one for each nipple, and you can see even on that it's really enriched with that lovely what do they call it? A 2QR polysaccharide component. 2QR. There you go. So in the ingredients here, we've got glycerin, we've got a polygluconic acid cross polymer, xanthan gum. The 2R complement is a patented bioactive polysaccharide. And so the idea with this is it gives you the lovely cooling effect, that kind of soothing effect, but also with that cross polymer combination, it reduces the likelihood of any bacteria or little germs sticking and adhering to the face of the nipple, where we could end up with a bacterial infection and you getting very unwell. So if you have maybe very mildly damaged nipples, if they may be cracked and just a little bit sore and uncomfortable, this is a fantastic way for you to really soothe them, ease them, while you're getting to the root cause of the problem as to why you have those sore nipples in the first place. So today we've gone through the Multimam compresses, we've gone through why I absolutely love Manuka honey, medical grade Manuka honey dressings and ointments, and as well as that we've looked at our hydrogel dressings or pads. So as with all of these things, touch base with a lactation consultant to try and find out which is going to be the correct dressing for you, and I'll also leave some of the details of each of these down below so that you can have a little look for yourself for some more information. Thank you so much for joining me in this video, and I hope that you found it helpful.